Welcome to Offensive, where we're praying we could just go back and watch that Broncos Raiders game. Oh my God, the glory!
It was so good compared to this Packers Eagles game, I'll tell you.
Yeah, we're
I think that we're watching the
halftime
Packers Eagles game. I don't know if we can call it football or what's happening out there.
I mean, LaFleur admitted he wanted to play this game like it was 1950s style football, and he's getting what he wanted, the ugliest, grossest game ever. And I've been mad at LaFleur all year. We'll get into other stuff later, but like the Packers offensive line is so bad, I almost kind of understand why our game plan is throw the ball 2 feet every single time. So,
well, you see, last week we talked about how their trend for the first half is they scored 13 points, 10 points, and then the rest of the games in the first half would be 3, 6, 6, 7. LaFleur heard that and said, hold my beer. We can beat that 3.
Yeah, he got it. He got his zero. He got his zero that he wanted. LaFleur wants to win every game 6-3. I think that's his dream.
Well, I think he saw that the Lions scored 44 points and had, I think, over 30 first downs in their game. And he said, hey, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try to do the opposite of that.
Yeah, like, I'm going to slow this game down. Dude, if this was like a Cowboys-Bengals game, we'd still have like 5 minutes left in the first quarter because there'd be so much going on. And it's already halftime just because they're both coaches are like, let's run down the clock, go home and take a bubble bath. We don't
They're like, how about every third down we make a bad pass or like get sacked? Yeah. That would be great.
All right. Well, let's not talk about this game until later. Let's go to the games of the week. So let's work on that. We're going to go to the games of the week, and we're going to remove this so you can see the faces. There we are. Okay. So, Dave, let's start with you, Chief. What was your game of the week, and how did it turn out? Talk us through it.
I like the games of the first half MVPs. Baker Mayfield, he hadn't looked like an MVP the last couple of weeks because of injuries, but thought it'd be interesting having the other one, New England, coming to town with Drake May and the young man's second-year quarterback. I thought maybe Baker would be able to say, okay, young man, this is how we do it. And instead it was swung a lot better in the way of New England. Now, to be fair, Baker was without Godwin, still without Evans, pretty much. Evans is out for the season. Godwin, I think they're just going to rest him until December. But it was still nice to see Cade Otton had a good game. You still got a couple good plays from Baker down the end, making it a fun game. For all of the people that had been holding out hope for TreVeyon Henderson, he finally got his opportunity. The week before, he played 3/4 of the snaps, but they never really tried running him outside. Yesterday, it was at the end of the game. They had it in hand. They do a toss sweep to him. He runs it 69 yards down the field. Nobody can keep up to him. And so he's looking back to the sideline. When he gets to the 25, he starts veering over to the side. Just look at the sideline and be like, Coach, is it okay if I get a touchdown here? Could you imagine being that fast? You're in the NFL. You just ran 50 yards past everyone else. And you're like, I got to know if my coach wants me to just take a knee right here to scale the clock. And, oh, Coach, it's okay for me to get a touchdown. Defense still hadn't caught up. That was just amazing. And that was after he already had a 55-yard touchdown run up the gut. It was just a lot. There's a lot of offense on there, not as much from Tampa in the beginning. But if you're a Jets fan, you just have to be absolutely psyched. Now you think, okay, we had the pass game going. We just needed a solid run game. Now it looks like you might have that going. So this offense could be firing on all cylinders. It's looking great for New England. Buffalo, good luck catching up.
Yeah, I remember last week I was saying, hey, Buffalo could go on this winning streak. I don't know if they're going to lose another game. And then they get trounced by the damn Dolphins. Mike McDaniel, I love you, man. Dude, see, Mike McDaniel's such a genius. He threw everybody off by getting a delay of game penalty on the very first play of the game.
Yeah.
So everybody thought the Dolphins didn't know what they were doing, and then they just went in there and trounced Buffalo.
Hype called it, though. He said, every couple of years, Miami defies rhyme and reason. And
every couple of weeks.
They do it. No, but the Bills in particular.
Bills they used to do it to the Patriots too. They would just beat these guys and even do it handily at times. But the Dolphins were jacked up to play this game, man. They looked like their hair was on fire. I think they went to the club before the game and got a bunch of uppers and were just like they were just decided.
But did you see McDaniels how he got PO'd because he had to call a timeout with 15 minutes left in the clock in the first quarter?
Well, yeah, that's what I was saying. They had to.
Yeah, it starts off on the totally wrong foot. You're like, oh crap, here we go again, and then
it was all part of the game plan, Dave, to throw them off. It was all premeditated.
Well, you guys have to understand. the real power of this team is the Stephon Diggs baby machine. Okay. You know how like Samson had power from his hair? Stephon Diggs has power from his sperm. Okay. He has 4 baby mamas and 4 kids on the way this year at the same time. And he's got 2 touchdowns. He's got to have at least 4 touchdowns this year to match. And
right.
Like,
all the babies.
It'll happen. I mean, if you saw his touchdown catch and getting those 2 toes in, it was pretty awesome. Like the guy is powered by the power of his mojo. He's like Austin Powers of the NFL.
Well, this is what happens every time Stephon Diggs goes to a team year 1. They're great, and he looks great. And then by year 2, they're terrible, and he looks terrible.
Because that's when the babies are born then, and they're like, hey, you need to
and then they get 1, and then he's like, man, well, I got to be at home with these babies. I need more baby mamas. I need new ladies.
Then he moves on to the next town.
And he's busy. He can't spend time on football.
I mean, it is very impressive what he's done. Like, and all the women don't even care. They're like, oh, well, he just keeps making babies.
Him and Tyreek Hill are getting together. They're going to fund their own like school. They're going to just have a school.
I feel like they're like in the Flavor Flav school of like, prowess.
DeAndre Hopkins too. Doesn't he have like 9 kids or 10 kids? Like there should just be a school for wide receiver
Dude, they're
children.
still not on Flavor Flav's level. Flavor Flav has like 14.
Yeah, they're getting there. They're getting there, man. They're getting there. All right, so let's move on to your game, Doug. What was your game of the week and how did it go?
It was the Steelers and Chargers, and it was like 3-3 or 3-6 for like a huge amount of the game. And the Chargers had a lot of guys hurt. It just looked terrible. It looked like a preseason, like it looks like the Hall of Fame game when like guys have not practiced or like just figuring stuff out. Aaron Rodgers looked like the worst quarterback in the league. What's crazy is the Steelers still ran the ball decently. They still averaged like 4.7 yards a run. I don't understand. Like I think they're trying to put the burden of it on Aaron Rodgers' shoulders, thinking he's going to lead the way, but you can't do that the whole season, man. Like he can do that for like 4 or 5 games maybe during the season, but the Steelers have to win from defense in the running game. And I don't know what their deal is, but they need to pound the rock and figure out how to run the ball. So because once Aaron Rodgers gets out in his funk, like I think he had like 3 picks and maybe 1 touchdown this game. His QBR, I think, was 3 out of 100.
Yeah,
it was an extremely bad game for Rodgers. He looked old. He looked terrible. He looked like he was going to get hurt. The Steelers did not look like a playoff game.
2 of his interceptions. Go ahead, Dave.
Oh yeah, they missed 9 third-down conversions to start the game.
Yeah,
in a row.
And I think Rodgers had 2 picks that went off his receivers' hands. Like there was one where he threw it to Calvin Austin and it just went right off his hands directly to a defender. And, Rodgers was mad. So Rodgers is not playing great. But again, Rodgers wasn't supposed to be carrying this team. They were supposed to be carried by their defense, run the ball, and then Rodgers elevates them. Right now, they're not great on defense. They're okay at running the ball. And then, they're obviously worse than they were last year at running the ball because Rodgers throws those short passes to mitigate the passing game and the running game. But the Chargers smoked them a little bit. The Chargers were up for it. They're now 7-3.
But the game was really close for most of the game. And so the Chargers at the end came through and scored a bunch or whatever. But that's the thing, is that even though like it looks like the Chargers dominated, they didn't really. Like 3/4 of it was like super close, and Rodgers could have done something, but like it just looked really bad.
There was a lot of scoring this weekend, which you guys might have forgotten about after watching this first half of Monday night. But there was a lot of scoring this weekend.
Yeah,
a lot,
but not by Rodgers.
Halfway through the fourth quarter, the Steelers are marching, and if they would have gotten a touchdown, it would have made it a 22-15 game. It would have been a 1-possession game.
Yep.
But they weren't able to stop it, and then the Chargers they got the touchdown, so it looked bigger than it was, but it was far too close of a game for how awful the rate. And to be fair, all you have to do when you're playing the Steelers is play man. You saw that anytime it was a crucial 3rd and short, they go up, they jam, and there's nobody on the Steelers that can get open at all.
And the Chargers are playing a bunch of backups too. People are hurt, so you should be able to take advantage.
So the Steelers looking at this roster saying, okay, we tried for Jacoby, that's it. Couldn't get him, but we're good enough to go to the playoffs. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs now.
Nope. And we'll go to my game now, which was the Ravens-Vikings, because the Ravens are 1 game behind the Steelers. They got 2 games left. This is why this was a big game. The Ravens needed to win, even if the Steelers won or lost. The Ravens needed to win this game. And I'll give the Vikings credit. It started off really good. They were moving the ball on offense. They go up 7-0 with an Aaron Jones rushing touchdown. And then it all just kind of started to slowly fall apart. The Vikings this game actually outgained the Ravens by about 50 yards. And JJ McCarthy had his first game passing over 200 yards, guys.
Mhm.
So congratulations, JJ McCarthy, 248 yards. The problem was his 2 touchdowns, his 2 interceptions, his 2 deep throws were so off. Like they weren't even close. And they're off to Justin Jefferson, who can catch just about everything. Now, some people are saying Justin Jefferson should have tried to like go for the ball in that first interception. But if you actually watch it, it's so far away from him. He's trying to play defense there, kind of like Christian Watson in the first half, but it actually hit Christian Watson in the head. So that's a completely different scenario. But this is the thing that I said about JJ McCarthy coming in the NFL. He's got athleticism. He's got arm strength. He's just not accurate when he throws it down the field. And he cost them 2 drives by just really bad deep passes to Justin Jefferson both times, who, like I said, can catch almost anything in his vicinity. So, and then obviously they had to fumble. So the Vikings had 3 turnovers and 13 penalties in this game. And they only lost by 1 score because, again, their defense did a decent job keeping them in it. The Ravens defense was okay, not great. But yeah, I mean, the Ravens definitely were the better team, but the Vikings should have been in this game and they kind of cost themselves. And I think this might be the story of JJ McCarthy is like super hot and cold. Like one game where he doesn't have to do a lot and he makes a couple plays, but as soon as they start to lean on him or he starts feeling himself, calling himself number 9, he has just stinkers like this. He was not good in this game. And even most of his passing yards, again, he zips the ball down the field, but it's not necessarily where the receiver wants it. He had one good pass to Naylor, but there was a couple other ones where like the receivers had to make plays. So, yeah, I think this is going to continue for JJ McCarthy. I think he's going to be hot and cold. And you know what? I mean, if you have a young quarterback like that, let him be aggressive. I think the Minnesota needs to understand, even if they made the playoffs for some reason this year, they're not a real contender. JJ needs to figure out how to play, and they need to figure out how to use him best because he definitely cost them this game. Without a doubt, he cost them this game. So, all right. So before we move on, Carolina, what the hell? What are you doing losing to the Saints? I just talked you up and I was like, hey man, Carolina's not that bad. I know the Packers should have won this game, but Carolina's good. They're 5-4. And then they get smoked by the Saints at home. Like, could you not make me look like an idiot? Like, everybody knows the Dolphins can pull out a win here and there. So, like, yes, the Bills losing is a big deal. But, like, Carolina, you got to win those games at home. And what was the main difference? The Saints defense just stacked the box and stopped the run. Did you hear that, Jeff Hafley? The Saints defense stacked the box to stop the run, and Carolina couldn't do anything on offense. So just, remember that maybe in the future. So, yeah, way to make me look like an idiot. And also, how does Davis Mills put up 36 points on you, Jaguars? You should be ashamed of yourself.
They're up by 19.
Dude, you should be ashamed of yourself, Jacksonville. David Mills put 36 on you. Now, one of those, I believe, was a defensive touchdown, so I should take that back. He still put up 28 on him or whatever. But, yeah, a couple good games this week. All right, so let's go to our next segment, which is one smart and one dumb. And I mean, I could maybe make 17 things that are dumb about the Packers game, but let's start with something smart from this weekend. So, Chief, what did you see that was smart this weekend? What stood out to you?
For me, I think it was New England finally trying Travion Henderson outside, going against that Bucs defense at front. They're strong in the middle. That 55-yard run that he had was up the middle, which is quite surprising to see them burst. But yeah, when they finally gave it to him outside, and what do you know? He's really fast, shifty, and whatnot. And the fact that he, like I alluded to before, he's looking over to the coach saying, "Can I get the touchdown, or do you want me to just kneel it?" I thought that was smart of him, just to be like, "All right, I'm kind of in the doghouse. I don't want to tick off the coach. So what do you want me to do?" So it's one of those. It's just an odd play. You don't see it that often, but I thought that was kind of smart of him, just to make sure that. I have all the time in the world to get this touchdown. What should I do, coach? I thought that was kind of smart.
I don't feel like the Patriots were really on their game against the Bucs. They had some decent plays, but like you said, they kind of pulled away at the end. I think that just shows how good of a coach team they are now with Vrabel. Like Vrabel has completely turned them into a team that knows how to close out games. And that's what good coaches do. So, yeah, I agree with that. All right, Hype, what was one smart thing you saw this weekend?
I saw no smart things, but I have like 85 dumb things. Okay.
All right, well, we can skip you on the smart
We'll
things.
just
Packer fans aren't familiar with smart things.
No, we're not. We
recently.
actually are not. We can't recognize that. We're not sure what exactly it is. Maybe I'll have 1.5 dumb things. Number one, the Giants not spying Caleb Williams. Now, I don't want to take from Caleb Williams' performance at the end of the game. He did great. He did what you needed to do. He was like, hey, I'm going to be decisive. I'm either going to scramble around and look for that open pass. And he made a couple of nice passes, and then he just went for it. And he has this instinct to just go. And with the Bears, like, you can't let that happen. The Giants just allowed it to happen. And I guess I could say the smart thing was Caleb Williams just deciding to run, and just use his legs. Actually, that is true. When I was watching the game, I thought about this. Caleb Williams, he wants to be a pocket passer first. He doesn't want to be necessarily a scrambler. But in these situations, there's something that clicks in his head, and he just goes, and then he just takes off. And whatever that thing he's doing, he should do that all the time. Not maybe take hits or anything, but he's really dangerous when he does that, because he's a better runner than he is a passer. Even though he's a better passer than Justin Fields, but he has a little bit of that same danger in him where he can just pull the ball down and he escapes the pocket really fast. So, Packers did something good. But anyways, even though I hate the Bears, I'll give them props. You know what I mean? It's a love-hate relationship. Yeah. And so that's the smart thing by Caleb Williams. But the Bears should have spied him. They should have, put somebody down there to kind of stop him as he went.
Yeah. You know what's dumb is how many backup quarterbacks the Bears have got to play this year. It's an enormous amount of backup quarterbacks. And I still count Geno as a backup, by the way.
Hey, now Russ was started week 1, so he's a starter, baby.
Oh, that's true. I guess you did play a backup in Jackson, but I'm just saying. No.
Oh, my God. The refs finally called false starts on the Eagles line.
Wow. All right. Let's not talk about it. Hold on. We'll get to that. I'm okay.
Also so my smart thing was Caleb Williams. Do I get to do dumb now, or do we wait? Am I waiting?
Oh, you did dumb and then you did smart. You messed it all up.
That's fine. I'll be
like you said, Packer fans, they don't know what smart is.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to go now. So my smart thing is, and I called this at the beginning of the year. Now, I called it after the San Francisco game, but it took 1 week too long. I said Brian Daboll would lose his job, because I knew he was not going to get the most out of Jackson Dart. Now, to be said, Jackson Dart has been very effective in this New York Giants offense, but almost in the case where they're running him too much, which is how he got that concussion and then got that fumble in that game. And I know they're missing Neighbors, and I know they're missing Scadaboo, but Brian Daboll has not been a good coach for 2 years, and you gave him a chance. And I don't even think it's the offense that's the problem. It's that they've blown 3 fourth-quarter leads this year already where they were up by 2 scores, the Giants have. And so 4. I'm sorry. Did I say 2 fourth? I said, 4 fourth-quarter leagues where they were up by double digits. That's just unacceptable. You got to change in the house. I know a lot of people are saying Daboll's doing a good job. I think if you're the Giants franchise, like I said, Robert Saleh. Go get Robert Saleh. Get him off the 49ers. Bring him back to New York just to stick it to the Jets, because I guarantee you he'll fix that defense. Jackson Dart looks like the real deal. Scadaboo looks like the real deal. We know Neighbors is already the real deal. Those 3 weapons will help you win a lot of games. Make that defense good. Yeah, I think firing Daboll was a very, very smart move.
Saleh could even bring another offensive coach from the 49ers system and just run that, because what do the 49ers do? They rely on running backs, throwing to the running backs, West Coast offense. That's what Jackson Dart should be running.
Yeah, I could see him getting it. I could also potentially see the Ravens offensive coordinator, Shane Munkin, I believe it is, getting a shot at the job. But I think getting rid of Daboll was the right move. And Giants, just so you know, whoever you hire is going to beat the Packers next week. So, you're going to get that new coach bump. So good luck.
Coach,
yeah. Whenever they bring in a new coach, they usually play well. Unless even the Titans played better with their new coach that week. They've been playing better since they got their quote unquote interim coach. They still stink, but they've been in games at the very least, right? All right, now I'm going to go to my dumb thing, and it's going to be really quick. Any sports writer that votes for a quarterback instead of Jonathan Taylor for MVP is so dumb they should have their credentials taken away from them. They should have your
Agreed.
credentials taken away. And anybody who did not vote for Saquon Barkley last year should have their credentials taken away from them and be allowed to vote for MVP. This thing where running backs have to set all-time records, where quarterbacks just have to have their third best season ever to win an MVP is ludicrous. Get it out of here. Jonathan Taylor is by far the MVP in the NFL right now. And if you think different, I can't help you.
If you watch him run the ball, he's literally like Barry Sanders for real. Like he's just making guys. If there's one guy there, there's no way he's tackling him.
I mean, Saquon had a lot of yards last year because he was getting so many yards before contact, even with that offensive line. And the Colts offensive line is good. But how many runs has Jonathan Taylor broken where he's made 2 or 3 guys miss, or he's bounced off 2 or 3 guys, and then he just goes 70 yards, right? Like his yards after contact is unbelievable. His speed is unbelievable. His strength is unbelievable. He's the best running back in the game. He's doing even better than Saquon Barkley did last year at this time, guys. He's doing even better
with
than
the
Saquon
offensive line that's good, but not quite as good. The Eagles' offensive line,
not like the Eagles was last year, not as dominant as the Eagles was. No, the Colts is still good, but yeah, Jonathan Taylor is the runaway MVP. Not Daniel Jones, like somebody on this program suggested at one time, but it's
yes, that was me.
Yes, it was.
But
you.
this is the thing, though. At that time, Daniel Jones was playing like he should have been the MVP. It's now changed. Like it is different.
I don't know. Okay, agree to disagree. But that's my.
What are you talking about? He was literally the number 1 QBR quarterback, number 1 in so many categories. The last 2 or 3 games, he's been not that good.
Well, also. Jonathan Taylor was number 1 in 3 or 4 categories at the same time, and that's kept up despite the fact that Jones has played bad. So Jones played good off of Taylor. Taylor plays good off of himself. That's a weird sentence.
No, I agree.
You know
Jonathan Taylor right now is by far the MVP of the league.
By a mile. It's not even close. A close second.
Well, the thing about it is at first, like, okay, the offensive line's blocking fairly well. And, like, yes, he should have been considered, I thought. But, like, it's just that Daniel Jones, if you look at the difference in the Colts between before, you had Daniel Jones and all of a sudden they're a Super Bowl contender. And he was playing literally as the best quarterback in the league, analytically wise. So you're like, okay, you're the best team, the best analytics quarterback. That's MVP. But then you take any step down from that level and boom, no, Jonathan Taylor is the MVP.
Well, see, this is another problem I have is when you have the best stats as a quarterback, but you also have the best running back, I don't believe you're the best quarterback. Just like when Brock Purdy puts up all these numbers and Christian McCaffrey has 797 yak yards by himself, and that accounts for 30% of your passing yardage on the season. Like, I'm sorry, I don't think you're a huge difference maker. I think it's the guy getting the yak yards, just like I thought it was Jonathan Taylor. But regardless, Jonathan has now showed himself.
The thing is, MVPs are made in the second half of the season. The first
half
kind of matters, but not that much.
No, you're right. We'll see what happens.
The last 3 games of the season is huge. Like all these guys that have won recently in the last like 5, 6 years, 7 years. Even Aaron Rodgers passed up Tom Brady that 1 year in the last like 2 weeks.
Yeah. Well, I think a big part of it too is your team has to be like the 1 or 2 seed. You can't be like the 6th seed and win the MVP. Now, to be fair, I think Adrian Peterson and the Vikings, when he won it, they were like the 6th seed.
Yeah.
But he also got 2,000 yards that year, which was the first in like a very,
and their passing
long
offense
time.
wasn't that great at all.
Yeah. They had Christian Ponder at quarterback or something like that, I believe, that year. Was that
right? And
Christian
visually, he
Ponder?
Just ran guys over so much. Yeah. Your eyes just told you, like, this is really cool.
And Jonathan Taylor's just running by guys, So yeah, JT is definitely killing
it. But his highlight reel is amazing. I mean, you have to watch it on slow mo. You have to slow it down because he takes that one foot in the ground and boom, and he's gone. And in real time, it just looks like he's fast, but he's not just fast. He's also extremely agile and smart.
Right. Okay, so Dave, did you get to do your dumb yet?
No.
Okay, what's your dumb?
My dumb, Bo Nix. He's continuing to hyper target his college teammate Troy Franklin to the point where it's detrimental to their offense.
Ooh.
He needs to go back to Cortland Sutton more because when he involved Sutton earlier in the first part of the season, they were putting up more points. Now, so since week 7, Franklin has been 3 completions on 10 targets for only 19 yards and a tutty. 6 of 8 for 89, 2 touchdowns. That's a good game, but that was Dallas. 4 of 10 for 27 yards against Houston, and then 5 of 9 for only 40 yards against the Raiders. So you're giving him a lot of targets, but you're not really getting very many. You're not getting the completion percentage. The efficiency is crap, unfortunately. And the first half of the season, or the first part of the season, the first quarter, when they played against the Eagles, it was a tough game. Targeting but targeting Cortland Sutton the equal amount. He actually got 100-yard games. He got 89 yards and 90-yard game in the first 5 weeks. Franklin still hasn't reached 100 yards, and he's getting a lot of the targets. And it's their offense stinks. The passing game stinks. Go back to what worked. Go back to Cortland Sutton. He might not sound like he's the most exciting guy out there, but he's a solid NFL X.
You know what? I actually want to try to find that thing that I texted you guys earlier today about the Broncos and like why nobody's afraid of them.
The teams that they beat are duty.
Yeah, so this is just a little fun fact about the Denver Broncos. Here it is. So the Broncos have beaten the 3-6 Bengals, when the Raiders by 3 when Geno Smith was terrible. They beat the 3-5 Texans by 3. Now, David Mills did play good this week, but again, that's with Davis Mills, right? They beat the 1-7 Jets with Justin Fields. They beat the 2-7 Giants, right? Jackson Dart in that game where the Giants absolutely folded. They beat them by 1 point. And they beat the 1-8 Titans by less than a score. So, like, those are all bad teams. So they have.
Now, wait, so you don't give credit to the Justin Fields game where they had negative passing yards?
Okay, they did, but still, it's the Jets. What I'm saying
that's I just got to dig at Justin Fields because as a Bears fan who had to put up with all those people saying, "Oh, you haven't given Fields a chance." Justin Fields yesterday threw for 42 yards or like 50 yards, and Breece Hall had a 42-yard reception that was thrown behind the line of scrimmage. So Justin Fields got 12 passing yards yesterday minus that one pass. So for all those Bears fans saying that we didn't give him a chance, read between the lines.
Romeo Doubs loves to drop balls.
Well, it was a diving catch, I guess, but
yeah, he still can't catch. Okay, so I'm just saying the Broncos have 8 wins. Yep. And of those 8 wins, 6 of them are against really, really bad teams and really bad teams. So you can only beat who you play, but they have not necessarily been an impressive in any game except for the Cowboys game. I did think
that was not a catchable ball though to Romeo Doubs.
I feel like it was. It hit him in the hands.
They just showed the replay. It was not.
It hit him in the hands.
That was out of his reach.
He was diving.
That was not catchable. And so,
I'm not saying it's a great pass, but other teams catch those. I'm just saying.
So, now that was a drop by Heath.
Yeah,
but
Dobbs, that was absolutely not a catchable ball. He literally dove and it barely touched the end of his fingertip. How do you catch that?
Heath had just hit him in the numbers.
Jordan Love is trying. Yeah. Other wide receivers make that catch all the time, guys. You're just not used
in the slow mo. You can see it's not
time they make that catch, and then Heath just dropped the ball. This is what I'm talking about. Jordan Love is trying. Everyone else on the offense is shit right now. They're absolutely shit. Like Malik Heath
language.
Is out there.
Say their duty.
Yeah.
In honor of Call of Duty, maybe we can get a sponsor.
And again, I'm not saying Romeo Doubs did anything bad. I'm not mad at Romeo Doubs. But what I'm saying is I see receivers catch that ball on a weekly basis and make it
when he released
on the highlight reels
because the cornerback was 3 yards beyond him. And he had a dive to go around the cornerback.
Again, I'm not saying that it's an easy catch.
Not in any way a catch.
I'm saying I see receivers in the NFL who are paid millions of dollars make those catches. It'd be nice if we had a guy who could do that. That's all I'm saying. I see it every week. Every single week I see it. So I'm not saying Romeo Doubs could make that catch. I'm just saying it'd be nice if we had a guy that could make that catch. That's all.
So to go back to the Broncos haven't beat any winning teams. Now let's look at who the Bears have beat. Cowboys, Raiders, Commanders, Saints, Bengals, and Giants.
Yep, pretty much the same team as the Broncos. You guys pretty much have the same schedule.
Pretty much, yeah. So it looks fancy and whatnot, but yeah, when you go against real teams, not gonna. And
you guys should have lost to the Giants. You're lucky Jackson Dart got hurt. You should have lost to the Raiders. You're lucky Geno Smith wanted to throw interceptions in the end zone because I think he threw 2 or 3 that game. You should have lost to the Commanders, but the Commanders fumbled it at the end. So like, yeah, like this is why the Bears aren't scary. Like they feel like, do you guys remember the Vikings from the last year Kirk Cousins was there? Where they were like 9-7 and they won like 9 games by like less than a score. Like they were like, no, like 10-6 that year. Cause I think that was the last year before we had 17 games. And they were 10-6 and they had won 9 games by 1 score. And when they got to the playoffs and got wrecked, all the Vikings fans were like, oh my God, what happened? And everyone else was like, did you guys watch your games? Like you didn't deserve to win half of those. So I feel like
now,
that's
I just want full perspective now. Would you be scared if you had to play Green Bay?
Nope.
Okay, just as long as we recognize that we're on the same footing.
We're on the same level
right now.
In fact, Dave, right now, the way our offense is playing, I'd be more scared of the Bears because their offensive line and running game are consistent. Your defense is garbage. Turnovers have helped you so much. It's ridiculous. But
we actually get turnovers on a regular basis.
That's true. And but when you have a good offensive line in a running game, especially in the playoffs, that makes a massive difference. We saw it last year with the Eagles, right? The Packers have a bad offensive line and a not very good running game. So, yeah, I'd be more afraid of the Bears actually in the playoffs right now than the Packers. Though our defense is way better, our offense is just not scary at all at the moment. So, yeah, dude.
Just wanted to get that on record.
Yeah. No, it's fine. It's fine. And I will say this too, Dave. Ben Johnson has made a huge difference because even though you guys are getting lucky, you're not shooting yourself in the foot to lose games like you were last year, right? You're letting other teams make those mistakes and taking advantage of them, which is what good coached, well-coached teams do, is take advantage of the mistakes of other teams, right? So I think Ben Johnson has made a massive difference. And yes, your offensive line was reworked, but I think they're so much better, not just because of the players, but because of the play calling and the way Ben Johnson sets up plays and when he calls run plays and when he calls them off tackle versus inside. Like there's a reason why everyone said Ben Johnson's the best play caller in the NFL. And he's showing it with the Bears because, dude, Caleb's not playing great, but they're running the ball well. Caleb's making plays when he has to. And again, they're letting other teams beat themselves versus the Bears beating themselves.
Right, that's the key.
Yeah, which we were so accustomed to watching the Bears shoot themselves in the foot. It's like a lot of that karma is coming back this year, right? So, yeah, no, the Bears are definitely scarier than the Packers at this very moment,
So
I would
I'm
say.
afraid this game might end up being 3-0.
It's possible.